Hello.
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 Welcome to the commentary
I
on
thought
the
I'd,
commentary on the commentary.
Do another one.
We can talk for 40 minutes.
I'm really going to do this.
Try and get one out there.
Yes,
I'm ill prepared in this one.
This time
I'm just
around.
going to go
Actually,
go in, see what happens.
Up, this is actually take number 2 I've done on the commentary.
Take number 2.
On the commentary.
This is take number 1. I don't know if I'm uploading this yet, but
I did do this.
We'll see how it goes.
Weeks ago now, and I listened to it back.
Part of the problem I've found with doing these
unusable
is that if you do a commentary on the commentary,
one of the problems is I've got to remember to keep my
then you
voice
end up
because
talking about the same
audio
things every week.
Largely
That's
inaudible, and there was
the
a
problem.
few other technical issues that went wrong.
But let's go. So
I know. I mean, I know what you're
So
thinking,
the formula, there's a kind of a pattern emerging
the
now
rubbish
with
that
these.
I do upload where is usable. In my
I
eyes.
sort of
what was something
get
that's
onto one subject, and then I get onto another subject.
What is something that's
and then
unusable?
I got 3 subjects to talk about and just elaborate on each week.
I have.
I don't see how you're going to break this pattern. Look, when I'll do the next one next week, I'll be talking about.
At least of the one take.
So I'll be on special features and commentary.
Listen back to and
again.
And decided no, that's. I have done a second go at a few reviews. And
I don't know yet.
Cliche,
I start talking in a minute about
to writing, actually.
About whether I'm going to call this one the commentary on the commentary on the commentary on the commentary, or whether I just go for commentary 4.
On a laptop.
I did eliminate the King of Comedy review bit. I thought maybe people would start to get the joke.
And so they've gone back and rewritten.
You'll know if you've clicked on this what I decided to call this one.
Paper copies get lost or what have you. And then they say that the
Talking
second
about
draft
rewrites
is always
there.
better than the first draft. And
I'm not onto special features yet.
That has sometimes been the case when I've done a
I
second take of a
have
review.
actually been spacing out my my opinions on special features. I think in this one I did get onto my platform idea.
I get to the points. I've been able to look
It
back
was
and
this great idea that I've had,
that didn't work.
which now I've listened back to this and heard it articulated. I'm wondering if it is such a great idea.
So
You don't remember? I started talking about
second take on the third commentary. So
doing a Netflix or Amazon TV or Amazon Movie style platform
call this the third
called Special Features, and the draw would be that you'd have
commentary.
DVD Special Features as an option. So it's a streaming platform, but you could potentially watch a film commentary
You see
on
now,
it,
anyone who
or see a
who's following
making of
this, is
Dark,
going to want to
or
hear the commentary. If you want to
people
hear
always got
commentary,
fancy with the special features
say
idea,
so
but
in the
I
comments
always
section,
thought the
message me
quintessential
on Facebook or on Twitter.
DVD package, all you
And I'll gladly
needed
upload
was
it.
the commentary on the film, one or more, but what one usually would do, and usually from
Nobody's
the
listening
filmmakers
to
as
these,
well.
so it doesn't matter. I can say what I want.
I think the people who made the film usually did the best commentary.
I want these to
And
develop a sort of cult.
usually
Maybe
the
when
better
I get to
ones
commentary
were
4
the
or 5,
retrospective
people
commentaries,
start
i.e.
to
the commentaries
get
that
the
were
joke,
done years
to
after the
see
fact,
the format
because
and the
I find that commentaries by
It'd be funny
filmmakers
to give these
that,
all the longest title you could possibly
were done a week after they completed the film.
Commentary on
just
the commentary
done
on the
for,
commentary on the commentary.
the DVD that hadn't come out yet. A lot of them were recorded even before the film comes
Is
out.
there a
so,
word count limit? I wonder if there is a word
So
count
what
limit
you
to
get
the
in
titles
those
you
sort
can
of
have.
commentaries is just a lot of
Why don't we
technical
do that?
information
I
about the
was-
film.
I was-
but
if I-
I always prefer the
Commentary
ones
4
with the
on them, so I
filmmakers
was
looking
just gonna
back
start
on a
calling
film they
commentary
did
4 and commentary 5.
20 years earlier, because
I might do it.
The perspective that you get from the filmmakers then,
doing the commentary.
They know by then how well the public received the film initially and how well it's lasted over time.
False title anyway. Because,
so they were always my favourite commentaries to listen to, the retrospective commentary. But sorry, I was saying, the quintessential DVD package.
I only say that now because
it's
my
always
interest was
commentary.
What am I saying?
Ideally from the filmmaker. If it's from the actors, avoid.
That's it. I was talking about
actors are empty vessels as people. They really are. Actors tend to be people that have no personality of their own, no discernible personality of their own, and they need to fill themselves up with made-up personalities. They're essentially liars. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with one, I don't think, because at least a really good one, because I don't think you could ever trust an actor, a really good actor, because you know how well they can lie. You know, that's their business, is to convince you that they're someone else. Have you ever noticed it in interviews, like in press junkets for films, like they always come across as really, really nice people? I think Leonardo DiCaprio, everyone, right? Always in press junkets, they're always really smiley, and they look really amiable, and they're always laughing at the interviewer's jokes.
I can't remember how.
And you watch them and you go, they seem really nice in real life. And then you remember, no, they're actors. That's the public face that they have to put on.
That might have been in the abandoned one I did last
week. But they rarely do good commentaries, actors.
I think it's unfortunate
because
special features, DVD special features have really gone the way of the dodo.
They rarely talk about articulating their craft. A lot of them aren't really interested in the technicalities of filmmaking. A lot of actors' commentaries tend to be
money put into them by the studios anymore.
Just watching the film with the star, really. The Jerry Maguire commentary with I think the three main principals, Tom Cruise,
and I think that's a real shame,
Renée Zellweger and Cuba Gooding Jr.
DVD special
that's
features
particularly torturous to listen to. Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette on True Romance.
I always do that. I always say A and then I forget what the B is.
Literally the whole thing is, wow. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, that's just great.
And that's the problem is that digital platforms now like Netflix and Amazon.
Wow, well, very revealing.
People's
anyway,
film education is coming from. That's where people. I'm on about the Duff twins now. Yeah, there's the Duff twins.
Actually,
Hilary Duff.
The only good one I think I've ever heard is Paul McGann and Ralph Brown on the With Nail and I commentary. That's
I'd like to.
That's quite a funny one, actually. That's just two lovies congratulating each other. I mean, they are obviously
and that would be
the commentary you want for that.
That would be.
Is Bruce Robinson and ideally Richard E. Grant, who are quite funny in interviews when I've seen them talking about the film. They have a lot of love and professional respect for each other, but they also have this very wicked sense of humour where they will put each other down. So it's sad that you don't get a commentary from them two on the With Nail and I DVD.
My platform became
a
mega success.
Bruce Robinson has had some issues with
Netflix
the makers of the producers of that film. I think he felt he was, because it was his first film as a director, he basically
special features into the 20th.
He got the Mugs deal. He got paid up front for his directing services, which wasn't very much for a first-time director, but he's never seen any money from subsequent reissues from the film, so that's why he hasn't. He's sort of loath to do promotion for the film these days. If he does, it's really because it's such a beloved piece of work. So sadly, I don't think there's a commentary out there by him, but the one by Paul McGann and Ralph Brown as actors, it is quite informative. I think British actors are more
jazz.
More inclined to talk about the craft, I think, than their American counterparts.
With new
but yeah, it is two lovies self-congratulating each other for 90 minutes. There's Richard Breyers. He was lovely. Yeah, it's very nice. It's a lovely commentary.
As I say,
so yeah, what I was saying is the quintessential DVD package for me always had to be a commentary from the director, ideally, an in-depth making of documentary, the longer the better. Hamster Factory's on the 12 Monkeys DVD. That's a pretty good one. That runs 90 minutes.
Streets and avenues.
The one on
Jazzland.
Is it called Dangerous Days?
The journey's going to take.
It's the making of Blade Runner documentary. It's a 3-hour documentary. I think that's the best one I've ever seen.
Where we're going to end up.
So it's in. You see, people forget that special features were big business.
It doesn't matter where we end up.
You've got.
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
You've got a documentary there that was
I'll take you
an hour longer than the actual film it was about.
Take you over there.
That's quite insane. And it was really well produced. They got every principal involved.
That's where jazz
Ridley Scott, Harrison Ford, screenwriters, right down to every department was covered, right down to photography, editing,
from the trees.
Both pre-actual production and post-production.
Time to throw the rule book out the window.
I think the only omission that was Vangelis. I think that's the only person they didn't. I think they didn't get to interview, wasn't it? They might have had an in the day interview with him. So yeah, right. I've been trying to say this now for 10 minutes. Okay.
I'm just going to wander here for a while, folks.
Commentary by the filmmaker, an in-depth making of documentary on the film, deleted scenes.
Should we get it back to the commentary now?
Or a director's cut of the movie as a bonus feature.
Tarantino.
Outtakes if it was a commentary, and a trailer. And that's all you require. That's all I ever required. Anything else was a bonus. If there was a music video for the film, stick that in there.
And who knows? Maybe
that's all you really need for a film, and that would be all you'd get.
Maybe I could play out with some jazz
in my DVD. In my streaming platform, that would bring back special features. So, yeah, that's what I. There you go. I've basically spent longer now just reiterating what I was talking about last week.
That's why,
just to a greater extent. Because I'm on to Tarantino now.
Because he
but I'm gonna say that I've had two great ideas in my life. Now I've articulated the first one. I've started to wonder if it is a great idea. Let me know if you think it's a great idea. I think that's an alright idea. The streaming service
don't work all the time.
The other, actually, this other one I'm going to talk about now. This wasn't really a great idea. It's just a question, really, right?
But as an example,
Blu-rays
Tim Burton.
And now
prolific type.
4K discs.
On
Right.
average every 2 years. Or
Now, when I first heard
1
about
year.
Blu-rays, which was
that's
going to be the
great,
format
but
that
I
was
often
going to
find with the
supersede
prolific types,
DVDs, but it never really
their
happened to
output
any great
is
extent because
hit and miss.
we were just a few years
Whereas
away, really, from the
non-prolific
streaming service,
type
which is really
would
where
be, say, someone like
the film consumption
releases a film on average every 4 to 5
business
years.
is now. So they're really just a collector's item, the Blu-ray discs, if you want to get the better audio and picture
Stanley
quality.
Kubrick, of course, would be another.
But when I first heard about them,
and they tend to be the types I'm gravitating.
I was like, well, what's the big draw of Blu-ray?
I'm not saying
Well,
that
the big draw apparently
focus
was
types.
that you could get
the reason I call them focus
more
is
information
that
on a
they tend
disc.
to work just as hard as the prolific.
So I don't know how much more it is from a DVD.
Just getting the product out there.
For simplicity's sake, let's say it's like 8 times the information that you get on
focus
DVD.
types, they will put
Now,
just
when
as
I
much
heard that, I thought,
over a 3 or 4
great.
year period.
So
5-year period,
that
whatever,
obviously means
into
that you can
getting
fit more on
products out
a
that's
Blu-ray
the best it
disc
can be.
or a
And
4K
that's something
disc
that I appreciate
than you
more,
can fit on a
because
DVD
not
disc.
that
So,
the products
say, for example, in my collection,
more
I
successful,
have,
more
well, I don't really have it
well-received.
anymore, but I did have the Criterion
end of the
version of
day.
Brazil,
But
which was a 3-disc
you can
set.
feel-
Disc 1, you got
You can feel the effort more,
the cut of the movie, Terry Gilliam's cut and commentary. Disc 2,
and that's what I appreciate.
a 90-minute making of
I
documentary,
want to
and
watch
disc
a
3,
film
the butchered studio
get
cut
the
of the film.
impression that the filmmakers put
And
the
I
heart
thought,
and
well,
soul
that's a
into
3-disc
it.
set,
Best
so
they can possibly
you
make
can
it.
fit 8 times the information on
And
a
it's not
Blu-ray
something
disc,
that
so
they
they could re-release
I don't
that,
wanna feel
but
like
put
I'm
all
just watching
that on a single
somebody going
disc.
through the motions like you would
Or
another day at the office. I want to feel
TV box sets.
what I'm watching is the
You know,
culmination of who that person was at the time.
Just as an example, on my shelf, Futurama.
So as I say, it's a funny
and each
sort of thing.
it's seasons 1 to 4, and they're all 4-disc sets. Well, why can't I get an entire season
emerge every now
on
and
a single Blu-ray disc?
and just to say, look, this is
Or
who
even,
I am. This is who I am.
the entire run, seasons 1 to 4, on a whole disc.
Yeah,
Use less
reclusive,
plastic.
enigmatic types. They are.
Save Mother Earth.
Yeah,
But
just
it doesn't
something I find
happen.
really,
The
really
Blu-rays
fascinating
came out,
about them.
and you'd still have exactly the
longer
same
they
amount of
leave it
discs
here,
and exactly the
more
same
fascinating
amount of
it
material on
Terrence
the
Malick, I
Blu-ray
think, is the
discs
prime
as you
example
do
who-
on the DVDs.
I mean, the gap between his.
But and
second and
my
third
question is why?
films,
Why
19
can't you just
years.
fit more content? If you
Now, you
can
can leave it
supposedly
too long,
hold
but-
more information on
As well,
these
you know,
discs,
I think the
why
film
can't you get more
muscle
content?
is
Oh well,
something
it's
that-
for
it's
the,
like
the
any
better
muscle, it needs to be
picture and
exercised, or
sound
it
quality.
withers and dies.
That's where the
It's harder
information
to find
that
that
is being
muscle
used
memory
up.
when you
It's
come
in the
back
better
to it.
quality. Well,
George Lucas.
okay, then I
example,
refer you
although
to
he
my
produced
previous argument, my
from
my
the
Police
late
Academy 4
70s
argument.
through
It's
to
like,
the
well,
late
that's
90s,
for
when it actually came back to
wanky
directing
tech
it,
posers
writing
that
it,
don't
so
really know
for
shit about
after
films.
20 years.
You can
He's
have
just flat out
Police
forgotten
Academy
how to
4
do it.
on Blu-ray or
And
4K
that's
disc.
why
It can
got
be the best version of the
prequel
film.
trilogy.
Crisper, cleaner, never looked better, never sounded better, and the music's fantastic. At the end of the day, you're still watching Police Academy 4.
Do you mind if I just put a bit of TV on in the background?
You're still
I was a
watching
bit embarrassed
an
about
absolutely
the
garbage
TV
film.
that I watched last week. So,
There you
put
go. I'm glad that I
something,
got out
something
there.
a bit
Got out there.
classier on for you now.
Oh, what an embarrassment! Oh, no,
Well, that was
another giveaway.
embarrassing. Sorry, just after 20 minutes, I thought I'd return to talking about the commentary. Let's see if I can find something better to watch.
I'll leave this playing for a bit. Actually, this is interesting. This is the full version. So he's on the playground now.
Yeah, you really are
shooting some b-ball.
You really are gonna
Hits the guy in the head.
This is all I'm gonna have a terrible taste. I really don't. I mean,
that's his mum.
I do love. This is. And I'm down, it's alright, 'cause I'm still at the boat. Mario Lopez, who's the gay one. Dustin Diamond, isn't he in prison for murder now? Amazing how many TVs. Elizabeth Berkley. I don't really do mocking diatribes and bad films, but I might do Showgirls one day. It's really quite an amazing film. You can almost smell the cocaine that went into the making of that film. For a film about stripping, it's the least sexiest film I've ever seen. I thought we could keep these commentaries topical, actually. So, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air still going on. I thought I could do that. It'd be interesting to look at some movie.
Yeah, talking about terrible ideas. A friend of mine.
I'm a big trawler on movie news.
And we once tried to do our own comedy animated thing, and we had lots of.
I think that
what at the time we thought were funny ideas, and
looking back, that hasn't come out yet. I get really excited, and
they do make me clench up. What one of them was doing a spoof called "Can't Hear the Bell,"
talking about
set in a
urban myths,
school for the deaf.
The Sky Arts series. I've watched them all now.
Hey Screech!
The last one's all about the Sex Pistols on Bill Grundy. That's quite entertaining.
Yeah, because we were young and we didn't give a shit who we offended. Yeah.
Of men behaving badly fame. Let's look at the news stories for this week. Todd McFarlane.
I've talked about Urban Myths to death. Urban Myths was a program that my
Jamie Foxx's Spawn. I think that's great.
That Amy, my partner, found for me, and she thought, "Oh, you'd probably like that." And she was right. She's getting better at that stuff. The other day she recommended Silicon Valley,
you could even
which I think she spotted because it's from Mike Judge,
good luck to him,
the creator of Beavis and Butthead.
A movie on that sort of budget.
It's funny, Mike Judge.
I knew this would happen as well.
When you see his name on something, or they
Deadpool 1,
they promote something as being from the creator of Beavis and Butthead, you think it's going to be this moronic, silly stuff. But actually, Mike Judge is
superhero story.
Quite a sophisticated writer, I think.
Why he's only managed to get 10 million?
He's one of these writers that he's just. I think he's just fascinated by personality.
I'm sure that would be a no-good movie.
And loves to find the humour in different archetypes. So that's all he was doing with Beavis and Butthead, really. He wanted to make he wanted to hold a mirror up to youth culture and say, look at this, something ugly has emerged. Is anybody?
I mean, I've heard this one.
Does anybody else notice this? But ironically,
the Fountainhead is Ayn Rand's.
The people that
all about
it was
architecture. Sounds compelling.
Holding a mirror up to.
I read it last year.
With the people that, i.e., Moronic Teenage Boys, was the
brilliant
people
novel,
that
one of the best novels I've ever read.
it most appealed to, that show.
I may do my top 10 novels at some future point.
Yeah, I'm looking at some stories. Let's look at.
But it's a really
this
dense
week's stories. So Ryan Gosling is Neil Armstrong in the First Man trailer.
A 2 hour movie.
Two things intrigue me. Well, a lot intrigues me about this.
3 hour movie.
Ryan Gosling, he's been doing great.
If they were going to do that,
work
I'd
over
be
the
much
past
happier
2 or
if
3
they did
years,
it as a mini series.
choosing one great project after another.
You can make a fairly good solid.
A Neil Armstrong biopic. That's one of the things I can't believe it's not been done before now.
Things if they wanted to.
I can't believe. I suppose it's like doing a 9/11 movie.
Pacific.
What's the point of making a movie out of something that everybody watched live
Mad Men, but set in
on TV anyway? So maybe it's and it's not a straight up story about the moon landings. Apparently, this is a full biopic.
Oh, God. People are going to think I got terrible taste.
But the other thing that intrigues me about this is that it's from. Well, let's get the guy's name right. It's from director Damien Chazelle, who directed La La Land.
I know Zack Snyder has his fans.
I thought it was okay.
He is. He's a great.
If it had a drawback, it's that for a musical, I can't really
he's just
recall any of the music in it. But I think it was more an homage to old school Hollywood.
The impetus for wanting to do it.
He probably Gene Kelly type 50s musical. So it was more about the staging of the dance numbers, really.
Artistic vision compromised.
And maybe if I watch that a few more
somebody
times.
But said in the comments section here,
I did actually this week watch Whiplash,
some artistic visions,
which is an amazing film. If no one's ever seen it, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, thematically, it deals with stuff that I find fascinating anyway. That all stuff about genius and how much of yourself do you have to give over it to become a genius in your work. If you're of an artist, well, maybe not even if you're of an artistic bent, but
just ruined it for them. Josh
it's all about the destruction of
everyone knows a good
yourself just to get better.
What happens then is
your artistic output
makes a terrible movie.
It's an absolutely fascinating two-hander. It's a real man-v-man movie. And
obviously, the interference never
and who ultimately wins in the end. And it's one of those films that, I mean, every single scene there's a point to it. Every single
9 times out of 10 it doesn't work.
Moment sort of leads up to a counter moment, and
so but it's
it's one of these films that I think is going to be endlessly re-evaluated and looked at, because it's a real structurally the film's absolutely solid. It's a real House of Cards film,
except for apparently in the case of
I was absolutely blown away. I watched it because it was Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg was asked. I think it's the 10 years of iTunes movies coming up now, and a few people, Andy Serkis, Simon Pegg, were asked to name the top 10 best films of the last decade in their opinion, or their top 10 favourite films. And Whiplash was in there for Simon Pegg, and I thought, I'll have to give that one a go. So I watched it the other night. But it's great, really, really well shot movie. The performances from the two leads are just exemplary. I mean, I've always found J.K. Simmons a little scary. Anyway, ever since Oz, I think there's something really horrible. He's probably a really nice guy in real life, but there's something really awful about do beg your pardon. A psychopath with a sense of humour.
Yeah, so
Richard J.K. Simmons.
So if I sound a little agitated during this commentary,
so yes, I'm. Oh dear. Oh, toilet humour. Oh,
sound like I need to go in a different room. So yeah, I do apologise that.
I will not be doing silly fart jokes this week. Halloween 2018. So this is a new thing, isn't it? This is
Burrito Maximo.
The sequels. The sequel that ignores the other sequels. That's what's happening there. Fair enough. Well, of course, you know. I mean, if that film doesn't work, then or doesn't become or becomes anything less than a classic, then of course that's going to be ignored as well. You know, that's just the way it goes. It's quite annoying, actually. I think that people don't have any reverence for the sequels, even the bad ones. You know. I'm all for continuity. Apparently, Laurie Strode is no longer Michael Myers' brother. Fair enough.
Interruption.
Matthew Vaughn is going to reboot Kick-Ass.
That's funny. It happened in more or less exactly at the same time last week.
Okay.
It really is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's going to reboot Kick-Ass. I thought that will make a neat trilogy, Kick-Ass. So, but then Kick-Ass 2 wasn't too hot, sadly. So maybe that scuppered that.
I may have to lose that visitor at the door bit anyway, because I think that came on the... Oh no, sorry, yeah, what are we on now? 32 minutes. I may have to lose that. Yeah, the break, as I said before on this phone, comes at 33 minutes and 10 seconds, so I have to remember to be quiet then.
If you like do a marathon session of the Aliens movies, talking of ginger cats.
Comes at 33 minutes and 10 seconds,
wow.
so I have to...
Thank heavens there was somebody at the door, so I was floundering a bit there. Hang on, just... I know it's unprofessional, these people keep coming round, but... just... Yes? Well, I don't care if you are Michael Fish with a fish. Bugger off! Marathon sessions
it's
on
tying
movies.
up, isn't it, of the events of the old film and
I was not talking about Star Trek
like
in a
suddenly
second.
like a character will just disappear without any explanation because the actor didn't return or they didn't like the character.
Yeah, I
missed the transition then. I wasn't saying
my original intention was just because I've just recently got Sky Movies and I've found all the Star Trek. All the Star Trek episodes are on there. I thought I'd just watch them all in order because I've seen them all except Beyond. I haven't seen the new movie.
Star Trek.
Here we go. Talking about Star Trek now. So I got up to Generations, and I have seen First Contact recently, but I'll give it another go just for the sake of completeness. But then I thought. I've seen Star Trek First Contact quite a few times, but I've never seen the two-parter. I've never seen the two-parter episodes that essentially that First Contact is a sequel to.
Yet the
which is, where Picard's assimilated into the Borg.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
And it's the season final of season 3 and the part 1 of season 4.
Yeah, obviously.
So I've taken a little break from watching the movies but of course I wasn't. I was only halfway through season 2, rewatching them all on Netflix.
You forget as well.
So I've got to.
From a TV series that ran for.
So what I'm saying is I've been.
They were making
going through.
That's a
rewatching Generation. So I'm about halfway through season 3 at the moment.
It's throughout the entirety of the 80s.
And then they had a lot of Star Trek Next Gen. They made 26 episodes a year. That's just unheard of anymore. So they made it for 6 months of the year. None of this 13 episode run, 10 episode runs. You really got bang for your buck, really, back in 1990. So I'm nearly there, and then once I've watched 2 parts, I'll go back to watching the films. And I'll tell you something, Beyond a Better Be Worth It. Oh, is anything worth it?
That I can relate to.
So, what are we on? 36. Well, yeah, it's been mainly talk this week. But I know why you're here, folks. You're here. You're not here to really hear me waffle on. You're here for the jazz.
I might as well wind it up now.
Want me to play out with a bit of jazz?
Thanks for joining me, folks.
All right then. Has he been patient enough with me? Here we go. Let's just tune up a bit. Know what it is yet? Fly me to the moon, folks. That's right. And I'll take you to the moon. But it ain't gonna be a flying there. It's gonna be a laid-back afternoon stroll. Lots of detours and avenues on the way to the moon. I can see what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. Ooh. Feeling the jazz, folks. Feeling it on multiple levels. See you all out there in YouTube land, folks.